Hi, my name is Hallana. I am from Ilhabela, which is a small island on the coast of São Paulo, and I've been living in Australia, Gold Coast, for a while now. At the moment, I'm working as a yoga instructor and also as a therapist, and I started back in the day when I was still in Brazil, working as a bank manager. I started getting really stressed about work, and I went to a doctor because I was having lots of allergies on my body because of stress, and the doctor told me I should be getting antidepressants, but I was like 23 years old at the time, so I decided that I didn't want to go on that path, and I asked if there was any kind of alternative that I could do, and he said, oh, maybe you can do some yoga and therapy. Back in the day, yoga was not my thing. I've never tried yoga before, but I just usually like to see people doing yoga, and I saw they like namaste, and I'm very energetic, so for me I thought, yoga is not for me. So I started with therapy first, but my therapist, she was a yoga instructor too, and then she invited me to one of her classes, and her style of yoga was a different style that I was used to be seeing, because she used to do vinyasa, which is a flow, a yoga flow. And then I kind of fall in love with yoga because every time that I went to a class, I was still working as a bank manager, and I was stressed, and I left the class feeling well, and then I used to go back home and I was more energized than drained, And that's how I decided to take a yoga teacher training. My intention was not to actually teach yoga. I just wanted to get better in yoga because I could see that yoga was helping me with my anxiety. When I started learning more about yoga and all the philosophy, I decided that the bank was not for me. So I said, okay, maybe I don't want this anymore. Yoga was so transformative for me. Then when I finished my yoga teacher training, I said, I need to teach. I need to help people understand that yoga is something that can actually change your life. At the same time, I decided maybe now it's the time for me to go after my dream, which was always come to Australia. When I came here, I started doing lots of different courses in yoga, like specializations too. So I started giving some free classes at the park here on the Gold Coast, which was a very nice experience for me. Yoga was the key that opened the door for all this world of spirituality and self-knowledge for me. I was a very explosive person on my relationships, and I was diagnosed with severe anxiety. And yoga helped me to understand how to manage my anxiety, how to be more present in the moment, which is still hard, right? But now at least I have the tools to help me manage when I'm not feeling like myself, The other therapies that I started learning after I started as a yoga teacher, I did family constellations, counseling, and all these other courses that I started learning. They are more about you being able to have better relationships with others. So in my opinion, they are all related. So yoga teaches you to be better to yourself. And when you're better to yourself, when you have a good life, when you're feeling grateful for the life you have this space to look to others on a different way. That's why now I'm working with all these different kinds of therapies. So I'm a yoga instructor, I also work with therapies, and I just try to help people to have better relationships with themselves and with their surroundings too. I remember going to the bar with my friends, and I was very worried about what people would think of me, because you know, yoga instructors, they have this stereotype that if you are a yoga instructor, you need to wake up with the birds, you know, and just be namaste all the time, and being like, you talk slowly and gently and blah blah blah. And this is just not who I am. You know, I am a very energetic person. Before I was a yoga instructor, I was a dancer for like 7 years in my life. So I really like going out to dance with my friends. And I remember at the beginning, I was so afraid that people would judge me, that I was not a good yoga instructor because I was at the party dancing with my friends, you know. And I remember I was talking with my therapist at the time, which was also a yoga instructor. And I told her, like, I'm afraid what people are gonna think about me, you know, because I'm here at the party with my friends, and they are gonna think that I'm not a good instructor. They won't see me as an authority in yoga, you know. And then she reminded me that yoga is about being true to who you are. And then I decided, okay, I need to try that. But at the beginning, this was really hard for me, you know. This is one of the big challenges that I had. But now, it's been more than 5 years that I teach yoga. So now this is okay for me. I'm used to that already. I've accepted who I am. And I'm not afraid that people are gonna think, oh, you know, Hallana is at the party dancing and she's not a good instructor. Like, I don't think that anymore. The ultimate goal of yoga is to eliminate suffering, finding stillness during chaos. So when you are practicing on your yoga mat, when you are meditating, you have like so many thoughts, and you are just trying to look, just observe your thoughts, but do not interact with them. So this all helps us when we leave our yoga mat to have a more fulfilled life, a more calm life. When you are practicing yoga, you're not only practicing when you open your yoga mat, you practice yoga with your actions, with your thoughts, with your intentions, with the way you live your life, you know, the way you eat, the way you talk, the way you sleep. Everything is yoga, you know. If you have this style of life throughout the whole life, I am sure that you'll be able to have a better life when you're older. And I don't want to be old and like relying on people to take care of me. I want to be independent, because I was always independent since before, you know. Since I left my house when I was 17 years old, I like being independent. I like being the author of my own story, you know, and I want to be doing that for my whole life. So this is one of the reasons why yoga is so important for me, and I am sure that I'll keep doing that. Even though one day I might decide that I don't want to teach yoga anymore, yoga will still be a part of my life, you know.